Farewell to GOT. Hello, House of the Dragon. Hello, I am your host, Lord Captain Commander Dunn, and we're going to be talking about the 6th episode of House of the Dragon, which is currently the best show on TV right now, mostly because Better Call Saul is now concluded. Still need to watch that, but I've heard good things. Anyway, let me bring on my guests, starting with...
Ben, what do you want to do tonight?
The same thing we do every night, Pinky. Try to take over the world.
When did I ever try taking over the world?
You tried to assume name change powers, or at least I think you tried to assume like control of my server through betting, but it's.
I haven't tried that yet, though that's on the table.
Yeah, fair enough. Let's bring in Valerian.
Quite so. And I will be the megalomaniac here, if you don't mind.
Neat. I like it. And let's bring in... let's bring in Trip.
Get fucked! Fuck you!
Oh yeah, nice intro, dear.
So why
Thank
is
you.
the chap laughing at the overture to Tannhäuser?
I have
Oh,
no clue.
I do. Do you guys know what a Minecraft stan is?
No. I know
Okay.
Stan, and I know what Minecraft is, but Minecraft Stan, that is not something I am familiar with.
Basically, they're all of the, from what I understand, not the best person to say this, but all of the people who try to cancel everyone, the cancel culture, and also really young shits. Yeah, he proceeded to, after they tried to cancel him several times, and I think got him off of YouTube and Twitch for 2 years, he came back, and first thing, created a bot to ban every single one of them from his chat.
Oh, I
Okay,
like that.
That is hilarious. I love that.
So
You can watch it. Just search up. Yeah, just
So-
search
I
up
think-
J Slap bans, and boom, you'll get like 2 or 3 videos of him doing it.
So this chap was doing these balls to the tune of Wagner while laughing hysterically.
I don't think he had the music playing on the stream, but in the video, he's like, "Yep, this is overturned." He has very good taste in background orchestral music.
Well, and that's also my little calling card for when I manage to beat one or both of these two at something.
Yeah, provided by moi, because I love that clip. It's just so... He's just so unhinged at that moment, and it's so happy to see it. It's why everyone says he's uncancelable.
Yeah. They also
Everyone
like,
who hasn't...
I was going to say, they tried to cancel Shad on Twitter one time. Some idiot started a hashtag cancel Shadiversity one time, and Mudcast mocked them. Everybody pretty much just dogpiled on that account and said, "You idiot."
But here's the thing, J-Slat actually does things that would normally get you canceled. The amount of controversial jokes and things he says, the man definitely would normally get canceled if the cancel culture had its way. But he just never does because no one gives a shit. He's just too entertaining.
Fair enough.
And for those of you who
Same
haven't, watched,
same principle with Sargon of Akkad.
So,
Everybody's trying to.
So Raptor says greetings.
oh, Raptor's in
Raptor.
comments. Hi, Raptor. We're just watch Jay Schlatt. Just watch anything of Jay Schlatt. No, we're not sponsored by the guy.
Alrighty. So, House of the Dragon. Oh, there's differences in the intro. That's very interesting. Okay.
Well,
That
did
is-
they
that
add
is-
people?
It appears so.
Okay, so those must be like the kids then.
Yeah, so we see the splitting. Okay, so that's Alyssa and Balin. And they're splitting into let's see. So I think it should. Okay, I think this bit is probably new. Yeah, I'm looking at it, and okay, there's Damon. He has not. His thing has not appeared yet, so that's new. And he's now putting in, possibly because he's now putting down roots. There's also that little thing in the back.
Yeah, he's got Bela and Reyna now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's
Okay, so what was that one?
that one. I believe is probably Allison,
Ah, okay.
but it looks like they've edited the intro. They're gonna update the intro every time. Okay.
Yeah, I still think the intro, compared with the Game of Thrones one, it doesn't have quite the same impact because it doesn't have quite the same clarity. You kind of have to know what's going on before you know what's going on.
Well, I also feel no one wants to watch the intro because they have the same song, and no one really likes that.
Well,
I
like the song.
Well, I like the song. No one really likes it being used here, though. Like, I have friends who just outright skip the intro because of that sole fact. They really don't like it, and I also don't. It doesn't. It feels lazy.
That bit is new. Okay.
Well, here's an idea for a video or a clip or something is go back to the previous episodes and do a little, just clip the intros and then go, from each one and comment on different.
Okay,
I
that's
guarantee.
So these are the 4 kids, the 3 kids. Okay.
So these are the 3 Rhaenyra's kids, because there's also the 3 Hoo-Ha kids, all Alicent kids.
Yeah, they're the 3. Well, there's supposed to be 4 Alicent kids.
Yeah, the other one, I guess, Darren either hasn't been born yet or is just an infant or I don't know what.
He's off at the High Tower. That's the in-world explanation.
Oh, yeah. Right, I beg your pardon.
Yeah, we see Blurry Knife. That's a neat little bit of foreshadowing for what's going to happen. Then there's a Valarian seahorse right there. I'm not sure what this is, but
let's see. Let's see what happens. Oh, now what happens is it gets really foggy when it. Oh well.
yeah, it isn't very clear. Okay.
It looked vaguely dragonish for a moment, but then I couldn't see what it was. Granted, I have my glasses off right now.
Yeah. And it all comes down into a pit of fire. Okay, that's interesting. I'll have to take a look around on there at some point. So, what are everybody's kind of thoughts on the episode overall?
Good.
Yeah, it is pretty good. I'd say it's pretty good as well.
Yeah, it's pretty good. I mean, some of the problems from the previous episode are still not fixed, but the episode in itself is pretty good.
It's one of the things. It kind of both episodes take some blame in that, but I am more forgiving of this one because they weren't the ones to make the problem.
Okay, right. You mean the writers weren't? Okay, fair enough.
Well, and I really liked this episode too. I know some people have some issues with certain things along the way, but generally speaking, I think it's one of my more favorite episodes. I thought they portrayed certain things pretty realistically, but I look at things differently than a lot of people do to begin with.
Yeah, I remember Red Hand, Balefire, and Pips both were like, this is the worst episode, and I'm like, what? You're saying that after 5? Do you know why they said that, Trip? Because I know you occasionally like to butt heads with one or the other.
Yeah.
And okay, so just given a lot of comments that I've seen in different things, some people really don't like that Rhaenyra, when Alicent here asks to see the baby immediately, that, Rhaenyra's reaction is that she's going to be the one to take the baby immediately after childbirth. And I personally think that can be realistic. I mean, she was obviously in pain. We saw the trail of blood after she comes out of visiting the king and the queen. I thought they did a pretty good job with that. Not all women would be able to do that, but to me, and that I thought it was because Rhaenyra wanted to really kind of a show of strength, because they obviously now have this conflict between the two of them. So I think it was a bit of concern. Maybe she wanted to see who's going to bed about the baby, because the baby is obviously not. Is it Rhaenyra? Rhaenyra's? Anyway, yeah. That obviously the baby is not his, and none of them are. But I thought it was kind of a nice little Game of Thrones scenario there with people, not a lot, but some people didn't like the fact that it is so obvious that the children are not his, right? Because they don't have the white hair and so on and so forth.
They're not they don't look mixed race.
Well, I think it's been pointed out by some people that if you have a mixed race person and a white person, you can have children that are all white. That can happen. Some people have pointed that out. My thing is that I think I would prefer for it to be ambiguous rather than explicit. I'm not surprised they made it like practically explicit. It's like practically show canon, basically. Whereas in the books, it's still ambiguous in the books. I think we prefer more ambiguity on that, but it's not like a deal breaking thing. It's just kind of a preference on my part.
Yeah,
I think part of the reason it's
No, go for it.
I think part of the reason it's made obvious is because it's meant to be clear. Everyone is aware that this is happening. They're just not saying it because they can't. They know Viserys knows that he cannot acknowledge this because I don't think he's actually oblivious. I find that hard to believe. And Allison says, like, they all know it, but they're not saying anything.
Yeah.
Just keeping their mouth shut.
It's a little weird. I mean, it's a little weird that they wouldn't have at least one legitimate son or, child, because when in episode 5, before they get married, they're talking, and Rhaenyra says something to the effect, we'll do our duty, and then we'll do our things on the side. So part of their duty involves conceiving an heir. That's part of their duty. So I would have expected at least that would be the responsible thing to do would be have at least one that's theirs.
Well, what Susan's do is have the first one be of definitely noble lineage, and then don't give a shit, because at the very least, the one with claim to the throne is having his claim. There's no bastardization to be revealed and fuck it up.
Yeah, that would be the responsible thing to do. So I'm a little surprised they didn't do that.
Well, Rhaenyra is not responsible. She's kind of petulant, an idiot.
Well, she's intermittently responsible. She gets moments where she's responsible, then she has moments where she goes off and is like, woo.
Yeah.
Besides, she grew up a little bit after. She had grown up a little bit by episode 5, and by episode 6, she's more grown up by episode 6. But episode 5, she's like beginning to be a grown up. But yeah, you're right that previously she was kind of like this irresponsible, obnoxious teenager.
Well, and I had a really weird thought occurred to me when they were talking, when some people were talking about the whole genetics thing, and they were comparing it to Daemon's children, where, they all have the white hair, right? So, in a weird way, even though I know this is not how genetics work, it almost looks like, okay, well, if that the white hair passes down through the male side, not the female side, at least in the show. Because I don't know, do we have any examples in the show where, like with Rhaenyra, the mother has white and the father does not, but the children do? I was trying to think of that, and I'm like, well, I don't think so, because pretty much all the white-haired children, their fathers have the white hair. Not necessarily intentional, but it kind of seems to turn out that way.
I remember seeing something about hair genetics. I forget if it's females get the hair genetics passed down mostly, or if it's either or and really random.
Genetics.
Because I know certain features are passed down differently or like with more frequency depending on which side of the parentage it's coming from.
There's also the fact that Gurm is really weird when it comes to hair color and genetics. We all know the famous bit in A Game of Thrones, the book, where Ned proves that Joffrey, Tommen, and Myrcella are incest bastards because they're all blonde. Not just that they're bastards, but that they're incest bastards because they're all blonde. So it works in really weird ways in the Gurmiverse. And nobody...
They have blonde children. They must be having incest. The mother is blonde, though. It must be incest.
Yeah, really. I mean, and apparently Ned was right.
Well, I think this is Joffrey. No one can look at Joffrey and be like, yeah, this child was born from okay circumstances.
Yeah, he wasn't. He comes off as a psycho.
Yeah, that whole fight scene that you were just walking through there. Now, I enjoyed the heck out of that fight scene just because, and of course, I think we all want to see Kristen just get pummeled, even though that was very much him baiting and all of that. But I don't know. I get the point where they're like, why would, and I'm sorry, I'm bad with the names. The boy's father, the captain.
Harwin Strong.
There you go, Harwin. That he makes it so obvious because he's hanging around there, to look at to keep an eye on his kids. And Kristen is obviously just such a prick when it comes to all of this, with the way he teaches, the kids, and is showing favorites, and all of his cynicism and all of that is really showing through in that. But I don't know, I thought it was just a really enjoyable scene, even if it was a touch unrealistic perhaps, but perhaps not, because these are not the nicest people in the world.
It just sounds nice though. Oh, they are, yeah.
And for having him go teach them and that being obvious, if we didn't know he was the father, I think a lot of us would just be like, oh, he's really nice. He's just trying to help train the future heirs. Nothing too strange there, because I guarantee you can think of some books or series where there's always the mentor character who takes a liking to the noble and tries trading them a lot. None of us are like, he's the father. So it's something that's like not too obvious. Like, yeah, it's maybe a nail in the coffin with a bunch of others, but I don't think it's anything standard on its own. Especially with the other shit there.
Yeah, they were letting that go on just way too long. Kristen was just wow. Hey, but at least they were using wooden practice swords, unlike, other shows that have.
Yeah.
I have seen the fight scene through Shad's video. I know what you're referencing. It is retarded.
So, to go back to Viserys, do we really think that he's oblivious? Senility showing, or do you think he's intentionally ignoring it because of all the political problems that would cause? Or, I mean, what's your take on that?
Intentionally. I think there's a line that he says with Alicent about the consequences of such allegations that make it quite clear, yeah, I don't give a fuck. We are not doing this. We are not revealing anything because that is not going to help anyone. All you're going to do is fuck everything up. Please shut up.
What do you think, Kai?
I think based on the fact that he gives the analogy about the white horse and the white stallion, he is very much aware there that I think he understands, he knows what's happened. He's not dumb. He just refuses to acknowledge it.
For very understandable reasons. Also, I'd like to compliment the scene for he gives that analogy, and then Alicent actually comes with like a decent retaliation. How do you know there was the stallion that the mayor breeded with when you didn't see it? Because normally at these kinds of shows, I say D kinds as in shitty ones, not to say this one's shit, they have those stupid ass analogies that make absolutely no fucking sense. And it's like, what are you talking about? But this one actually, like, she said something intelligent, and I want to compliment the show for that. You see how low my standards are now.
Yeah.
Well, so I find a thought I had afterwards, right, was it does also show, God, I hate to use this word, but the patriarchal leaning of that society, because male bastards are, from the male side, right? So men can go out and screw around and have bastards, and sometimes they even get accepted, right? In varying situations. But women definitely can't. Like, it would cause a huge scandal, and oh my God, we can't have that. But yet, if that situation had been reversed, if that had been, the man going out and all of the children, not being his wife's, right? It would have been kind of different. And I'm not saying that, oh, this makes the show horrible or that it's the message or anything. My point is simply, I think it's very interesting, because that's literally how things would be in a society like that. But it's kind of funny to think about it that way. If Viserys wanted to, I think he could recognize it and just be like, so what? So what? I think, again, that goes back to my thinking that he's really a weak king, but I mean, he's a Targaryen. They usually kind of just put their foot down and said, hey, this is the way it is, and you're going to accept it. And if you don't like it, we have dragons. Hi. you know?
Yeah.
But I'm cranky. So there you go.
I don't think he can do that, considering that will become a problem after he's dead. That's a big issue. All of the problems with the heir will happen when he's gone. So anything he says he needs to make sure is accepted while he's alive, or anything he tries to force will just go to shambles the second he's no longer there to keep that together.
Well, why do you think they didn't have a legitimate heir? Why did the show choose to go that way with that?
I think probably because Laenor lost his boy toy and was so heartbroken that he didn't want to do anything for several days.
Well, do you think maybe too that he truly is incapable of being with a woman?
That is actually fully possible. I actually think that that's a definite thing that this show is set up based on the fact that he said, I've tried, it didn't work.
Well, they could go with the solution they did with Night of Roses, and it was one of the Baratheons, and just have him fuck a guy until the very end, and then put that in her.
Well, it wasn't something that they did, it was something that was suggested.
Well,
By one of the best characters.
Yeah.
I mean, it's perfectly possible. I mean, I don't know much about this sort of thing, but gays, surely they can have children.
Oh,
Why
they
is there an
can.
echo?
What?
There's a bit of an echo.
Yeah, I don't know what that is. I think they definitely can have children, but there's certain logistical mental problem things that happen if you're not attracted to the person you're having sex with. It could be for some people, it could be hard to actually complete the act and finish.
Yeah, I mean, like James the Sixth, for example, Edward the Second.
Mm-hmm.
Or maybe she could. Well, because Daemon is all fun wherever he is, but so I guess that's not an option. Oh well.
There's also kind of the thing of, I think that if she had been more select, there's always that kind of thing about, you know how there's a tiny theory that Aegon's children weren't his children, or at the very least that Aenys wasn't his kid. And kind of the notion that, no, he can't be Aegon the Conqueror's kid. He's not a jock.
Well, that's kind of isn't that kind of a silly argument?
It is a silly argument. They even kind of cast aspersions on Rhaenyra's character. Well, Rhaenys' character is the first Targaryen queen, one of the first Targaryen queens, not the Rhaenys Targaryen, the queen who never was in the show.
Yeah, I know the one you mean.
Yeah. Well, I mean, for the people in the audience who are not as educated as you and me on the nerdery of A Song of Ice and Fire.
Fair enough. Let's see. Is anybody?
Nobody is here. It's fine. It's not a big deal. No. If you guys want to put the scream on the background to inflate the numbers, I'd be okay with that.
Want to put the what on to put to it?
The stream on the background. The stream in the background, and then just to boost the numbers up if you want to do that. So
Oh, I see. Oh, I see. You mean kind of. This
You have shamed yourself with the suggestion.
I don't care.
this is actually a real.
No shame.
That's actually a real person. It's not me. I didn't just turn on YouTube. That's actually someone else. I think it's Joe. Either that or Pete. I always get confused.
Or one of your bothersome beauties.
Oh no.
Don't worry, Dunn. I'll get the 1,000 bots that I have to inflate your numbers.
Yeah.
I just need to bribe a few people to.
Well, I always do, so that if somebody's in chat, that way I can participate in chat.
There is that too.
Yeah, generally, like even when I'm in a Smud Boy stream, I'll generally put the YouTube thing on so I can chat with people when I'm not able to talk.
I'm usually too lazy.
I only do it when I have something to say in the chat.
Fair enough. So, go for it.
Oh, I was just going to say, so can we talk about at the very end, since we're skipping around anyways, where, once again, bad with names today, Damon's wife.
Lena.
Lena, okay. So they have too much of that. Lena, Laenor, Rhaenyra. People stop.
That's Gurm's fault.
Yeah,
I
blame
know.
Gurm. Yeah, blame
Laenor,
George.
Lena, Lanfear.
Oh my God! I know
Aemon.
Aemon and
Yeah.
Aegon
Aemon.
and
Yeah.
Vhagar, and I'm just like, oh wow, whatever. Okay, so yeah, I have my own thoughts about maybe how realistic this is with the situation she was in. You know, that she would commit suicide by dragon, right? And all the implications of that. But I'm kind of curious about what you guys think about this before I, say mine.
I'm not a big fan of this. Mostly because I'm kind of like, I watched the. So I quite like in the book where rather than kind of this where she commits suicide by dragon, what happens is she just wants to fly one last time. And she dies on the way up the stairs to Vhagar to try and fly Vhagar one last time.
The scene did have an impact. It was well done in itself. The way the dragon didn't want to do it, for example, and then finally in the end realized it had to do it. But I guess the problem is we haven't had enough of Lena. So even though the scene had an impact in itself, without the
She's not a character. She's barely a character in the show, to be perfectly honest.
But she's more of a character in the show than she is in the books. But she's still not much of a character. But she's enough of one. She manages to pull off that scene though, so the scene still has an impact. Now Shad had an objection, but I can't remember what the objection was. I think it had to do with the fact that it should have been possible to save her.
Yeah, like they could have just kind of let the baby pass. Like it wasn't said that they had to do the cesarean section in order to save his wife.
Okay. It is interesting because I remember Shad wasn't terribly fussed about the Kristen Cole getting away with murder, literally, thing. So,
Well, why do you think the
Excuse me?
show decided to go that way? Just for the tragic drama of it? I mean, because I actually, yeah, I found that scene very impactful. I thought it was very interesting that they did it that way. And when we were actually doing the watch on this, I had asked if a dragon would actually do that, because I think they were foreshadowing at the beginning when they were talking about the bond with the dragon and the dragon responding to the writer with that particular phrase, right? They were kind of showing us that that's what it meant. And then of course at the end I went, okay, well they were foreshadowing what they were planning on doing there. So I found it really impactful and kind of touching in a way. And I personally kind of get why she would probably choose that. Again, like you guys were saying, she's not really a character, so it's not like you're really attached to her and maybe have all that sorrow for her. For me, it was more about the dragon, that having to make that choice and choosing kind of to do so. But I am curious why they went that way, if it was just for dramatic purposes or maybe something else.
I did notice how she took 3 tries to get the dragon to do it, as if the dragon's like, you realize you're right in front of me, right? I think you might want to move that away. And she keeps saying it's like, okay, like, I'll do it. I just don't think you're going to like the result.
yeah, I wonder if at first the dragon didn't understand, and then it did, but it was like, no, I don't want to burn you. And then, how intelligent are dragons? I think they're supposed to be actually fairly intelligent.
From what I know, George has said they're not that intelligent.
Interesting.
Well, see, from that scene, I took it that the dragon was very well aware of kind of exactly what was happening there. I mean, maybe not about the whole, why she was choosing to do that, but that is what was going on, is that the dragon, that she was being asked to kill her rider.
Well, it's one of the things with the show, both Game of Thrones and this, it's not always clear how intelligent dragons are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's accurate.
There's also the spoilery thing of who chooses Vhagar, who gets Vhagar next.
Yeah. And we are going to see Vhagar get stolen in the next episode, based on the preview for the next one. So
yeah, it looks like they're going to have that scene and the fallout from that, and that other scene will be in there too. That should be good. That should be. Yeah, looking forward to the next episode, definitely.
Yeah, I am interested. Yeah, this is pretty much just the only good show on television right now.
Pretty much. I mean, it's flawed, but hey.
Well, so who is Team Rhaenyra and who is Team Alicent here?
Can I say neither?
Rhaenyra.
I'm Rhaenyra too.
Yes, but yeah, I would definitely say that Rhaenyra is... Her kids seem less evil than Alicent's kids. Or at least they seem less messed up.
Literal first introduction to Alicent's eldest is him jacking out a window.
Oh no, the first introduction we have to...
Oh, is that the pig thing?
No, it's the pig thing that's his first introduction.
We don't see the oldest there.
Yes, we do.
I thought that's the younger one, and that's why they killed him. Was because like, did you make that prank? Did you make the other two make
No.
that prank?
Yeah, it's why he's right there. You see him.
Is he the one who did it?
Either that or I get the sense that it was him that did it in conjunction with the other kids.
Yeah.
So-
He basically him being the older, he made the two younger ones do what he wanted. Also, I'm gonna say now, I can't really tell most of them apart.
Yeah, I can't tell Amon and Aegon apart either. We'll be able to later. That's a spoiler, but later we'll know the difference. But now I can't tell them apart.
Yeah, they're
Sorry,
basically just-
people, I can't.
The pink dress.
Dare
that was
someone to
mildly-
call me racist?
That was mildly amusing. The pink. It's nice to have some humor in the show. There's not really been enough humor.
Yeah, the show is very dour. I would agree.
Yeah, although I guess that's better than having a bleep joke every few minutes like they were doing in Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
When
No, go for it.
I was just going to say, if I was Aegon here, and yes, I know kids can be terrible, but that would probably be a scenario I would never forgive. I would hold that grudge and find revenge somehow later on, even as an adult. Yeah, there would be issues there.
Well, Aemond is kind of messed up. Spoiler.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah, really? Spoiler? Really?
Yeah, his mother clearly is not very good at her job. It seems as though Rhaenyra is at least a better mom than Alicent because her kids seem better developed.
Yeah, Olivia Cook has said, or is reported as having said, I haven't seen this, that Alicent's a terrible mother, which is kind of sad.
Yeah. It kind of makes sense, though, since it seems like she's a very toxic person in a lot of ways, at least like her bitterness against Rhaenyra for, in some ways, this is probably inference, which I know we are not fans of by and large, that it's the idea of Rhaenyra got to do whatever she wanted where she didn't get to do anything she wanted.
Yeah. I mean, inference isn't always bad.
Yeah.
Well, it's a case of what is it better to be a bitter mother or a spoiled mother?
And it seems like Alicent is both.
The worst of both worlds.
Yeah, since I get the sense that she's probably spoiled Aemon, because usually only kids, since kind of the pink dread thing, that's the action of somebody who has been very spoiled his whole life and doesn't believe that any consequences will ever happen to him.
So you say she spoiled Aegon.
Yeah, I think that she's spoiled all of them, but I think that mainly Aemon is kind of the neglected kid because it seems like he's trying to act out and get a dragon especially when he's been primed with the notion that these kids are illegitimate, I'm legitimate, why do they have dragons and I don't? And my brother, who's an ass, and my sister, who's weird, have dragons. Why don't I have one?
Yeah, I mean, if you're a kid and you're used to the idea that people of your sort have dragons, then yeah, that would be. No one wants to be the odd man out, and well, everyone else has dragons. I don't. I mean, he's like how old? 13, 12?
Probably like 11. He looks like he's only like 11 or 12.
Yeah. So anyway, quite young. But even if you were older, that would be annoying. Like everyone has it, and you don't. You know.
And not only annoying, but I would think it would be almost a touch heartbreaking, you know? I mean, it would be depressing. It would be, I could see how it would make you insecure because especially given, you know, the dragons are kind of a large part of the family and the bloodline. And you're like, well, what the hell is wrong with me that I can't have a dragon? You know?
It's like a family heirloom that gets passed down through tradition, and you happen to be one of the unlucky smucks that doesn't get one. And this heirloom has a lot of pride in it that everybody recognizes, and just has significance on a scale that we don't necessarily have anything that really compares with as easily as a fucking dragon.
Well, it's like you're that okay, the fantasy trope of, you know, the protagonist of the entire story who is the only one that doesn't have powers, you know, or comes into their powers like so late in life. You know, so they're kind of the outcast. So I think we're all kind of familiar with that trope, and I'm okay with that trope because it can make for a really good story if it's done well. But that's how I kind of look at this too. You know, are we? And yes, Balerion and Kai, you may know from, you know, the book what might happen, but I kind of look at it that way as, oh, well, yeah, so is he going to end up with a dragon? And which dragon is he going to end up with? And then is he going to kick everybody's butt or not?
Will he be a psychopath?
Things will happen.
Yeah, okay. I'm sure
This is a revealing moment
things
in
will
the story.
happen.
Things will happen, and also stuff.
It is one thing that is kind of interesting is that there's actually a very specific statement in Fire and Blood that Rhaenyra childbirth is not kind to Rhaenyra, whereas Allison actually has 4 kids and she still looks good. It's actually a weird, interesting statement that she's still a MILF despite being half again Rhaenyra's age.
Well,
hey, Rhaenyra still has her looks as far as I'm concerned, even if she has changed drastically.
In the show, she still has her looks, definitely.
Yes, but that's kind of a Hollywood. They would not cast kind of a she's often depicted as being kind of a little bit chubby.
She got kind of dumpy. I can imagine her being dumpy and looking, you know, kind of plain and like middle-aged, even though she's still in her 20s or 30s.
Is there Rhaenyra fan art?
Probably.
Naomi Botello. There's also some official Song of Ice and Fire artwork. Just all over the place. I think a lot of the time they make her actually look pretty good, but it's very much she goes from kind of a slim little girl to like kind of slightly more rounded.
I have a good image for us to look at. I'll post it in the Discord. Why are you open? Go away. You take up so much space.
Uh-oh. I don't know what that is.
Well,
there was just the forums on the fudging server.
In the show as well, it kind of seems that Rhaenyra appears to have more maybe love in her life. I don't know if it kind of looks like to me that Harwin really has feelings for her. Can't really tell if she has feelings for him, but Allison, at least from the way they depicted it in the last episode, yeah, sure, she and Viserys, you know, they seem to get along okay, but I don't pick up any real, like, there's true passionate love between them. So to me, that makes a difference in the characters too in the show, and their attitudes and the way they do things. You know,
Allison vis-a-vis Viserys reminds me a little bit of teeny tiny bit of Cersei vis-a-vis Robert, not to quite the same extent, but to the extent that she doesn't necessarily seem to like him much, but she's like well, she'll like just basically kind of. She's kind of like. He's kind of like almost like her puppet or something. Maybe not her puppet, but anyway, she's like trying to boss him around. She's saying, he says, "Oh, this marriage would be a good idea," and she says, "You can do what you like when I'm cold in my grave." And he ought to be able to say, "I'm the king. I can do what I like now."
Well, Cersei is also very much the manipulative bitch, whereas I don't see that level of that from either Alicent or Rhaenyra.
Yeah. Cersei hates just a lot of fucking people. Rhaenyra and Alicent don't just hate everyone, though Alicent definitely has a lot of disdain for events.
Alicent, they hate specific people. They don't. Very specific people, namely each other.
Yeah, so this is some of kind of the artwork, or kind of my favorite artwork, at least. Yes, it
is some good artwork. What? What do you find amusing, dear?
Nothing.
Really?
What did she?
No, as Balerion would say, no comment.
Is that the one with the purple?
But you have commented. Now tell us more.
The one with her and the dwarf? All right, let's see here.
Are you referring to this one?
What?
So, Trip, what?
What? Nothing. No comment.
You laughed, dear. That's a comment. Now elaborate.
Nope.
Please comment, babe. We're interested. Please share with the class. We're interested to hear.
It's the dwarf one.
She's
turned on by that one. He's turned on by this one.
Share with the room, dear.
No comment.
Nope.
You laugh it, you share it.
Nope.
I'm guessing it's the one with the chap that doesn't have any clothes on. Guessing.
Let's just say I have seen certain of this art before. Okay.
Oh yeah. I know the context. I remember the context now. Yeah.
What? Share.
Is there Rhaenyra porn? Are you telling me there's Rhaenyra porn? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
There probably is. Pornura.
Naomi Botello has made a small cottage industry for herself by doing various kinds of A Song of Ice and Fire artwork in Disney-style artwork, including stuff that is less than safe for work.
Oh, and by the way, Bay Breakery, Kodaki Chap, and Crimson Scorpio are both in the chat. And Kodaki Chap says he'll be on later. Or something like that.
How did you both come across this information? Seeing as you're both very aware of it. Also, Naomi what?
Naomi makes art.
Naomi.
Yeah, I just subscribed to her Patreon and found it. That's how I found it, and then I shared it with Trip, and that's why she's laughing.
You showed her porn?
This is a romantic moment in this story.
Really shy. Oh my god. That's it. I gotta go make more coffee. I'll be back.
What do you mean? Is that what you were saying?
Oh, Kai can answer.
Done.
Yeah, I showed her some artwork.
Okay, so I'm curious. DM me this. What have you actually sent her?
I'll show you, yeah. But let me see. So this is kind of a better piece of art a larger piece of artwork.
Oh,
I saw it in the chat,
Crimson Scorpio, he says, I don't want to be here anymore.
That's fine, Scorpio. I will be judging the art.
Yeah, don't worry, we're not going to show it here. I don't want to get demonetized.
Yeah.
Well, I don't want to get kicked, I guess. But yeah, that's
this is why he's
Yeah, YouTube can be weird at times.
Yeah. So, yeah. Yeah.
We probably shouldn't.
Go for it.
We probably shouldn't have even said the word porno.
Well, unfortunately,
saying the
Trip
word is
laughed.
relevant.
Trip lady, you probably shouldn't have laughed.
Yeah, she's off. She's off making coffee.
Oh, okay. Well,
Yeah.
she can remark on that later then, because she can probably still hear us.
Trip laughs, and we go to porn. Oh, I'm now tempted to like clip her laughing and then just make a edit of that.
And just put it in random moments when you do your weird, when you do those things where you edit things together and stuff.
It becomes like I have I start a porn franchise, and the introduction is just Trip laughing every time.
Oh dear.
That's how they all start. Is she laughs and doom porn. Boom.
Oh dear. Oh dear. Oh dear.
Yeah. This is kind of the other side, the green faction.
Oh. Die screaming.
Yeah. Yeah, they're pretty awful people, yeah.
Green is the opposite color of red.
Yeah, it's also the color. There's a joke on Studio C when they're talking about the invention of the stoplight, where yes, there'll be different colors, but there will be the two colors that the colorblind people cannot tell apart.
Yeah, the worst of it is green is one of my favorite colors. In fact, I'm wearing a green sweater right now.
Lovely.
I feel like I'm a traitor.
Yeah, black is a cooler color. Maroon is the coolest color, though.
Yeah, maroon, I guess, is pretty cool.
Yeah.
That's basically purple, I guess.
So you knew about this before Trip because you had to show it to her. How did you come across this, Dunn?
Is this?
Well,
this is where we say rude things about Mormons again.
Well, basically, how I found that was I just been looking around for cool Cyan Ice and Fire artwork, and I found Naomi Botello. And so, since I wanted to get more of her artwork, I subscribed to her Patreon, where she has
And
that.
It is very good at work.
Yeah.
I can understand the admiring of the quality.
So yes, we got onto this from talking about how Rhaenyra got kind of dumpy and how they make her look nice in the show.
Yeah.
But then we went on to fan art where she still looks kind of nice.
Yeah. It's kind of like she has a Rubenesque figure, I believe is the description that I would use.
Is that Alicent in the Queen That Never Was?
Which? No, that is Visenya Targaryen and Shara Aaron.
Yeah, I think I get the feeling that Rhaenyra came to look basically like a housewife.
Yeah.
That's my feeling. It's not just particularly, it's not specifically that she's fat necessarily, although I think it does say something about being fat, but I think it's that she looks kind of like a dumpy housewife type who,
Yeah, it's kind of the reflection of the what happens with with some women where their bodies don't react well to pregnancies and never fully recover, that George R. R. Martin is using. And Alicent is on the other side of the spectrum where she is like, I imagine that there would be an element of jealousy there too, because she would definitely feel like, why exactly, like, why is her body reacting like this and mine isn't? So
yeah, if that hadn't been the case, Rhaenyra would have just said, okay, after the coup d'etat, she would say, oh, okay, that's fine.
Targaryens really seem to have bad luck with birthing. Was anyone related to Targaryens?
I did not start that, and good luck expecting me not to laugh when I want. We love you too, Trip.
Yep.
This is a touching moment in the story.
I might fucking clip this portion just because. And by clip, I mean make it a small video which then can upload called the porn tangent.
Okay. Go for it.
No
a
comment.
sequel to the tangent cut.
Yeah, there was also one we were talking about octopuses and God knows what in the show.
Yeah, the tangent cut where we talked about incest, biological and psychological, octopuses, Japan, and torturing characters.
And God knows what else.
I think that was all.
Yeah.
That's all? Oh, I'm disappointed.
We spent a long time on those subjects, but I think that was like a way to sum it up. It's like torturing characters, incest, Japan, and then octopuses.
I think octopuses in Japan are probably connected.
Oh, it
Well,
was.
considering that Japan has built a cottage industry known as tentacle porn, I don't doubt it.
Yeah,
it was technically because.
And they also eat octopus-flavored ice cream.
Which
I believe I brought
sounds
it up not because of Japan, but because
disgusting.
Koreans. Well, they have a TV which you can lick for flavor. These are degenerates, clearly.
I don't know. There's something weird in the water on the island of Japan. I don't know what it is, but there's something bizarre.
It's called radiation.
Oh, is that it? But then the radiation must have affected them already in the 18th century because you already have tentacle porn in the 18th century.
Well, here's the thing. People wonder, when it came to nuking them, was 2 nukes not enough or too much? We will never know.
No comment. No offense if anyone here is Japanese, watching is Japanese, but yes.
Yes. It's also, well, if it basically prevents them from having any portion of wokeism, I am perfectly happy with that, because it just seems as though people in Japan don't like wokeism. They hate it almost as much. They hate wokeism almost as much as India hates wokeism.
So anyway, before we go
really
off on a culture war,
all of that.
Before we go off on a culture war tangent, maybe we can get back on track.
Yeah, let's keep going.
I'm back, by the way.
Hi, hon. How's your coffee?
It's good. You guys made me go for the whole caramel, caramel creamer, all that good stuff. Heavy duty coffee now.
This is not the first time I've had someone horny post to me.
So
but this is
anyway.
definitely the most amusing.
So anyway, we've gone into all that from Rhaenyra being dumpy, and whether she looks good in this episode. Where she looks kind of ragged in the first scene, but you can understand why. She just gave birth, and now she has to walk up all these stairs because Queen Alicent's a bleep.
You can call her a bitch. It's fine.
Actually, Trip, will Alicent have earned the C word with this?
Well, I don't like Alicent that much, but in this case, Alicent there is the point that Alicent did not say that Rhaenyra needed to get out of her birthing bed to bring the baby up. All Alicent did, which was, I go back and forth on this. So all Alicent did was say that they wanted to see the baby immediately. And that was probably a bit of, passive aggressiveness, right? Because of the conflict between them. But also from a ruler's standpoint, where Rhaenyra is obviously birthing bastards, they were probably truly going, okay, we need to see the baby immediately and be some of the first ones because the midwives are going to be out there gossiping, right? So we need to know, is this an heir or is this a bastard? So I get that,
Alicent has ulterior motives for wanting to check that. And she also has good reasons for wanting it to be a bastard, even if it were ambiguous. She would still insist it were, in the show, she would still insist it were a bastard because she has ulterior motives, because she wants Aegon II to rule.
Even though Aegon II clearly has no leadership qualities.
Maybe he leads the, I don't want to be crude here, but maybe he leads like the masturbation club or something. No offense. Pardon me, Brightness Lady.
Basically, you think he's going to open a whorehouse.
Essentially the club to which all men to a certain degree in their life are in.
It's the unofficial club that exists in every timeline, in every century.
In every culture.
He wants to be its leader.
Yeah. No one speaks of it, but occasionally you will hear guys whispering, "What age did you start?" And it's always elementary.
So Shy, I do think Alicent is a C word, but for other reasons, basically, because Balerian's absolutely right there. She's got all sorts of ulterior motives and very legitimate motives as well. So,
I love it when that happens.
What, you love it when you're right? No,
I love it when I have ulterior motives or something, but I have legitimate motives for it, so I can go and do it, and no one can pull me for it because I can say, "Hey, legitimate reasons. I did it for a reason."
This person fucked my wife, so I'm gonna kill them. I wanted to kill them anyways, but they fucked my wife, so I had to kill them, and no one's gonna blame me.
Even though you hate your wife.
Honestly, one of my least liked characters, and don't go off, Shy, is Kristen, because
die, Kristen, die. Pardon me.
He is just like a I don't know, like
typical
a 10-year-old who's been he's even more immature, I think, than Aegon. Seriously, dude. Yeah, okay, you had your little temper tantrum. I mean, I've had my own, as we all well know, but get over it.
May I ask,
lady? He's a commoner.
Wait, aspiring.
May I ask, did you murder anyone during in public during your temper tantrum?
No, I did not.
Oh, okay, I'm relieved. But because Kristen did.
She just threw knives at me.
Okay. We understand that. We understand all that. Carry on.
Okay.
Actually, Aspiring wanted to say something.
Yeah, go for it. Yeah, go for it, Aspiring.
Kristen's a commoner, right?
No, he's not a commoner. He's a minor lord.
Minor lord. Because I remember among the knights in the first episode, he was noted as being not high as the others, correct?
Yeah, House Cole is still a noble house.
He's probably like a second
But much
son or
lower.
something too. I'm guessing he's a second son or something, because otherwise, the context suggests he's not actually a lord, but he's probably like the son of a lord or something, a second son or third son.
Because I was thinking, he hasn't lived this necessarily protected life as somebody other noble houses where they can get away with shit.
Yeah.
At least that's the impression I
Yeah.
get. So he, more than anyone, should know he can't just get away with fucking murder. But no, he actually ends up acting as if he's actually worse than Damon, who has the literal best position to get away with shit than anyone in the show. Even Damon has more fucking coot than this goddamn motherfucker.
You know what the
Damon,
reason is? Kristen read the script.
Shut the fuck up, Valerian.
No, I don't think I will.
And by the way, Crimson says in chat that if no one is going to take the side of the Greens, he wants in on a debate stream.
Okay.
Yeah, I remember that Crimson is less keen on the blacks. I remember
they're
that
both
vaguely
cool.
because we did a Germ thread some time ago, and he was less keen on the blacks. I mean, the blacks, spoiler, but some of the blacks do some pretty awful things.
I just think they're all awful. There's no good There's no heroic or good characters in this war.
Well, I mean, except for some
In the two
relatively minor characters.
At least in the two warring families, Rainier's family, they're all evil except for the kids.
I wouldn't say Viserys is evil.
Viserys is not going to be a part of this war.
Yeah, Rainier is not evil yet. Rainier is not evil yet.
Yeah, and I think that Rainier is just kind of gets dumb in the last bits of the war, but we'll save that for another time.
She goes kind of nutters.
Well, you know what? Who we haven't talked about is yet once again can't remember the name. The guy with the limp. The guy that cuts
Lara
off.
Strong.
Yeah,
Lara Strong.
Yes, this guy right here.
Yeah.
Littlefinger before Littlefinger.
I never could remember him very well from the books, but the show has made him stand out a lot more.
Which could make sense as someone who's trying to be in the background and wouldn't be noted down as much in history.
Yeah, maybe he succeeded in his goal, and the Maesters just don't think he's that important.
So what did Allison say to him that made him go that direction? Because I don't think from that little synopsis we were watching, I don't think she actually really said anything outright, but he took it that way.
So
did she mean it or not is the question.
She said that she wanted her dad back in King's Landing as the Hand of the King because she wanted an ally, and he thought, okay, well, if the only way to get her dad back as Hand is to kill my dad.
Wow. So
yeah.
So basically, he's like totally infatuated or in love with her as well.
I would actually not say that he's in love with her. I think that he's doing this to have something over on her, as well as to get rewards later on.
So basically, just kind of a self-interest situation.
Yeah, and he ultimately at the end says, he'll reward me eventually.
Okay, because I kind of missed that part in the watch. I think we were commenting on other parts or something. So, okay.
So she says, "Will no one take my part? Will no one take my side? If only Otto were still, if only my father was still here. Well, well, your father can't be here because so and so is the hand. And he wouldn't be impartial either, but he would be partial to me, she says. So, I mean, I guess she has deniability, sort of, but
Well,
this
here's
is where it's nice and ambiguous. Carry on.
You're going to be a bit wary when someone proceeds to kill their family because of something you said very offhandedly. He's clearly someone who can kill you, even with the limp.
He Henry Beckett's her, says Crimson Scorpio, basically.
Thank you.
Oh God, don't encourage him like that. But he Henry Beckett's her also, says Crimson Scorpio. So, will no one rid me of this troublesome night? Did Henry II want, or was it the first? I can't remember. I think the second. No, not the 8th. That's 4 centuries later, you silly. Sorry.
Yeah, I keep getting it mixed up. I think I'm just thinking of the priest and the priest who is against Henry VIII declaring himself the head of the Church of England. That's what I'm thinking of.
Yeah, so St. Thomas More. He wasn't a priest, but Sir Thomas More, later St. Thomas More. Yeah, Thomas. This is a different Thomas. Thomas a Becket. Will no one rid me of this troublesome priest? So the knights go off and kill him. And did he intend for them to do that? Maybe it can be convenient being. Sometimes it can be quite convenient just saying stuff, and that can be interpreted any way, and the people end up using it as a reason to kill somebody that you want out of the way anyway, but then you didn't actually do it. I do this a lot.
Interesting. Yeah. Yeah, that's Thomas More. Yeah, I keep thinking of it. Yeah, I keep getting it mixed up.
St. Thomas More is the chap to whom we owe the word utopia.
Interesting.
Named after a classic that he wrote called precisely Utopia.
Interesting. Probably, I imagine it's a very good book, kind of like Dante's Inferno or Paradise Lost.
Yeah, basically it's about this country where it's supposedly perfect and wonderful. If you're female, you might not like it as much because you have to confess your sins to your husband. But apart from that, it's pretty good.
Well, as long as he confesses them to me, I don't have a problem with that.
Well, I don't know. That's a little bit. That's a little bit extreme.
I've never been much for following rules to begin with, so.
Oh dear. I don't think you get on in Utopia. The Utopia then.
Not that one.
All secrets will be revealed to Her Majesty.
Okay.
This is a frightening moment in the story.
Basically where I'm right and Trip obeys no rules.
Oh God, I don't know which is scarier.
Yeah, it's basically, I think that was in reference to there are no good people in the Dance of the Dragons, aside from the small all-scale players, like the people in the Riverlands who get caught, or the guys in the north who get caught up in the squabbles of basically two really petty women.
This proves that women need to be kept in their place.
Oh, I know my place, Valerian. So,
I never said what the place was, by the way.
uh-huh. That was my point.
Honestly, though, Count Ballard is probably the most left-leaning person on the stream.
I don't know, maybe. I have some left-leaning tendencies, definitely.
As do I.
So maybe you're the closest thing to a right-wing extremist around here, Lord.
Yeah, the problem is I hate most right-wing. I hate both sides of the extremist line, though I hate the left more because they personally irritate me more.
Whereas I'm more irritated by the right. Whereas I'm more irritated by the right. So there we are.
Yeah.
Okay, well, let me clarify. I guess I would say I am more left-leaning. If you go back, like, I don't know what, 20 years or something, because I hate cancel culture. All of the SJW stuff, all of that. So no, that is not what I mean at all.
Most people on the left don't like that either. Yeah, most people on the left don't like that either because the people in the nation are always being sarcastic about it. Also, Preston Jacobs and Red Team Review are also sarcastic about that stuff.
Oh yeah, like everybody. I think that basically we just need the best thing to do about cancel culture is just to mock it, and just take the piss out of it.
No, just do what Dixlat does and keep banning them.
I was going to say, I'm very unironically all for canceling cancel culture.
I think there are some people that should be canceled, like Harvey Weinstein, because Harvey Weinstein is an evil prick.
I mean, he did actual harm. He did actual harm to people. He didn't just say stuff.
Yeah,
the thing with cancel culture, though, they rarely seem to go after the people who deserve it.
Yeah, like Vosh, who advocates for child pornography.
Okay.
Okay. We should probably get back on track.
Yeah.
There's a difference between canceling and justice, and that does actually apply to the show. Because there are a lot of instances here where we don't really see, per se, justice,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because Rhaenyra is definitely flaunting justice right now in a lot of ways.
You mean flouting.
What? Flouting.
You mean flouting.
Yeah. I keep getting those two words mixed up.
You're not the only one. It's a common problem.
Yeah, I guess it would be flaunting her crimes and flouting justice.
Yes, good. Excellent.
Yes. Because she basically says, I can do whatever I want. Basically, I can put whatever I want in my...
No comment. Nice weather we're having. What do you think? Shall we have a little rain, do you think? No comment. The worst of it is that was actually on topic. You're on topic, and I'm trying to get off topic so we can get away from certain places, so to speak.
I don't want to be talking about this.
Joffrey, is it? Says the dragon. Yeah. Why is the dragon saying Joffrey, is it? Is it buffering with you too?
Yeah.
Good. Thank God, because earlier it buffered, but that my internet was dead. And I couldn't hear you either.
That particular spot that you were just on with the dragon and the caption under it, that's actually a pretty amusing little still there because that dragon looks like a frog.
It does look like a frog. It's just looking at his baby boy.
Kermit is a dragon, confirmed.
But we do get the thing is, we're going to get a Kermit Tully in this show.
Yeah, there's a Kermit, an Elmo, and a Grover, yeah.
What the? Wow.
No, seriously. George R. R. Martin named a bunch of the Tullys after Sesame Street characters.
He'll put random weird things in his novels, like there'll be reference to a football score. 1-1, I think 1-1 is originally a football score. American football.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, that is accurate. Yeah, George R. R. Martin is a big Giants fan. He just has him kill one of the knights, which is the other football.
That's pretty funny, actually.
I think it was like his friend or something.
Well, if you're an author, especially a well-known one, you could pretty much do whatever you want there.
And it's so well. Part of it's just that it's so subtle that nobody would ever tell.
Yeah, like no one would have guessed that if he hadn't told someone.
Yeah, because it's very symbolic, I guess you could say.
So, okay, here with Damon. So Damon, after she commits suicide by dragon, he does seem to be concerned, or he seems to show emotion there, right? So do we think the emotion is because he actually feels bad, or because he had no control over that situation? It slipped out of his control, because they show a lot of that with him, or that's where they seem to want to go with him. I honestly can't decide on that.
Yeah, does he love Lena?
I think that he does, as much as he can love anybody.
Yeah, fair enough.
At least someone who's not Rhaenyra.
Yeah, but does he love Rhaenyra?
No idea.
To the extent that he can love anybody, again. I mean, this chap is kind of messed up psychologically. Clearly.
Well, but does he love Rhaenyra in the book? Don't they get married in the book?
I believe they've said that, yes.
Spoiler, but yes. He does marry her. It's hard to tell who loves anybody in the book because it's history and it's based on several different accounts. So who knows who was feeling what?
Yeah, they don't give you any context for any of the characters, and they don't give you their internal monologue. A lot of the characters just kind of do things since they have no stuff. Yeah.
Well, so George R. R. Martin in general, I'm trying to think back to Game of Thrones, and again, I haven't read the last book and a half because I got over it. But does he really have many characters in his books that truly love each other? I mean, I can think of maybe 2 or 3, but because didn't Ned and what was his wife's name? Yeah, to me that did seem like a true marriage, where they had love for each other. But I can't think of a whole bunch more examples.
I mean, we have people who love their brothers and sisters and relatives and things. Davos, in his internal monologue, says he loves his wife, but he's away from her for months and years at a time. Sorry, Bright Lord. Come on.
Yeah, there's Ned Stark and Catelyn. There is the eldest Stark son, at least in the show, they clearly had love. Jon Snow and the Wilder. I don't know why the Starks are the ones that come to mind.
I think Tyrion loved Shay, but she didn't love him.
Well, in a manner of speaking, he's kind of messed up too. We're in Daemon territory again, in the sense that to the extent that he can love anybody. I wonder if he saw Tysha in Shay.
Well, and then here in House of the Dragon,
it seemed like Viserys and Emma loved each other. I guess we can see by him looking down at her ring.
Aww.
Well, and I still kind of think maybe Rhaenyra and Harwin, but I'm not sure. That's just kind of an assumption on my part. But yeah,
Yeah, we
sorry,
don't see
that just occurred to me. We see all sorts of other things, but not too much of that, I don't think, with George.
with Mark. Yeah, I get the sense that Rob Stark and his wife loved each other. She certainly loved him, since she's very loyal to him after he dies. And is really broken up about the fact that her mom was feeding her birth control pills.
And then Sam, didn't he get together with a Wilder or something?
Well,
Yes.
Wildling Gilly, yeah.
That was the most wholesome couple.
Yeah, and it is also said that that Aegon loved his sister Rhaenys, and he married his sister Visenya out of duty, and then married his sister Rhaenys out of desire.
Oh, is that like coming later?
No, that's
or this
past.
is the prior.
This is the past, so it's not a spoiler.
Yeah, like again, people come up with unique names, please. Sorry.
Well, I think he is using unique names. He just reuses the unique names ad nauseum.
Well,
which is common
whatever.
in this kind of setting.
Fine.
Oh, I don't disagree with you that it is frustrating.
I know, but
So there's at least 100 Reyna. There's at least 3 Reynas throughout A Song of Ice and Fire.
To be fair, we have hundreds of people with the same name all over the place.
Yeah, we got a whole lot of Henrys.
I can only remember 2 Reynas offhand. Let's see. There's Reyna, Dreamfire Reyna, and there's Reyna Valoria.
Okay,
Those are the ones I remember.
It's just 2.
Maybe there's a third. Maybe there's probably more than one. But then there are also Rhaenyses and at least one Rhaenyra. I only know of one Rhaenyra.
Yeah, there's only one Rhaenyra. There's Rhaena Targaryen. There's Rhaena Velaryon. It's just basically just 2. So, it's just because Preston Jacobs differentiates one by saying Dreamfire Rhaena.
Yeah. Which is useful.
okay,
Yeah.
so do me a favor and pause here because I do have a question about this, but also Crimson in chat does make a point. He didn't reuse John a million times.
Yeah,
No, he's John. Like there are a bunch of Johns. There are at least 2 Johns. I think there's a bunch of Johns. Sorry, Bright Lord.
Yeah, there are a bunch of Johns. Yeah, like there are minor characters. There's a bunch of minor characters named John, like Jon Arryn, Jon Snow.
Did you?
John Connington.
John Connington, yeah.
And Crimson Scorpio points out that Rhaegar's daughter is also Rhaenys, which is true.
Yeah, there's
Cute
more
little thing.
Rhaenys. Yeah, there's more Rhaenys than Visenya. Most people don't seem to remember Visenya very highly, even though she probably had the best ideas as out of Amy's court artisans.
Courtiers. She seems to be the smartest of the 3 original people.
Yeah. Aegon, well, I think that Aegon was actually fairly wise. He was definitely the strategist. I think Visenya got, at least with the Eyrie, she got lucky because Shara Aaron was frightened of her son being burned alive by a dragon.
And her son thought the dragon was really cool.
As he should.
As he should indeed.
Yeah.
Okay, so
that is true.
my question about this particular scene is, okay, so first Rhaenyra, orders him to stay, right? And again, towards the end, I missed a few things. So at the end, doesn't she just completely 180 on that? And is like they're leaving?
Yeah, I think it's about. I think she's saying their true thought. The context with this one is that she's saying you are not allowed to leave Eve for the stepstones, specifically leaving behind your kids. She's not talking about leaving her. Or the family. She's saying let's leave this situation, which is probably a bad idea.
Okay, because I had missed the motivation for them all leaving at the end of this episode.
Someone said it was, I think it was Shad who said it was politically a bad idea because she's not in King's Landing and Allison can more easily take control over the capital, but maybe she needed to do it to protect her children, because who knows?
Yeah, but definitely there's kind of a. Let me actually.
Would Alicent have had Rhaenyra's children killed somehow? Would she have gone that far?
I think Alicent has an air of self-righteousness about her. I don't know if she would do that necessarily. I think she's very much she believes that other people are out to get her, and that more people are not as virtuous or moral as she is. As we see earlier, we see her talking to Kristen Cole, where he says, as in the end, honor and decency will prevail, even though she herself does not have any honor or decency. She just believes that she does.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think, but probably what could happen is that even if Alicent doesn't order them killed, Larys could just go ahead and get them killed anyway, and it could be like Harwin and Lionel Strong all over again.
Mm-hmm.
You know, where she didn't actually say to kill them.
So, I have a question for the gentleman in the room. If you had the opportunity to do this, would you?
No.
Don't ask the question.
No.
Would we masturbate on the? Oh, I beg your pardon. Would we pleasure ourselves on the balcony? Is that what you're asking?
Yeah, over your supposed kingdom, more or less. I mean,
no.
Why not?
No, I think. I mean, maybe if I were 13, I'd only do that if it were like nighttime and no one could see me and there was no one around.
No, just no.
It's just gross otherwise.
Just do it in private, damn it.
Yeah. I wouldn't. Yeah, not if someone can see me. God no, please no.
Like, just what about doing it outside is even likable? You have to go feel the sun on you. That's ugh.
It's kind of disgusting.
Feel the sun on you? Oh my god! So then I'm assuming that the risky public sex is completely out of the question. Then.
Sorry.
Oh no, that's fine.
No. Sorry, but no, I'm not. No risky public sex. I'm
you have to understand. There's a slight difference between doing something yourself and then doing it with another person. This is just why you should just do it somewhere else, somewhere private, where you're nice and comfortable. Don't go outside. If you're doing it with someone, go fuck it all the way. That's an adventure.
Well, I would say no. So if anyone wants to do it with me in public, I'm sorry. I'm going to have to demur on that.
Oh, your beauties are going to be just so depressed, and I think Codex is here, Kai.
He is.
Calm down, ladies. It'll be all right. God.
They'll miss your shining member.
Oh my.
Then you will die braver than most.
No comment.
You cut me off at the exact moment. God damn it.
What a time to come on. You chose your time to arrive strategically. It's clear.
Well, I'm sorry if I
But yeah,
worked that day. I'm sorry.
No,
Oh no.
But that is my decree trip. That act, do it in a room somewhere else where no one can see you. Just don't. With someone, go all the way. Go fucking all the way.
Okay then. Well, okay, so I mean, this is show related. So, do you think Allison should have taken him to task for that?
Define task.
Oh, she did say, "What the hell are you doing?"
Did she? Okay, because I couldn't remember if she actually addressed the situation.
Is this? I wonder why you wanted to do it out the window. Maybe at this point you've done it so many times in your blankets, you're like, all right, I need to try the window now. I'm curious.
Yeah, he needed some. He was just bored that day.
If he was bored, if this is not normal, then I'll be like, okay, fine. I give you a slight pass of you being curious. You do it a second time, I will fucking kick you off that window.
Will you also cuck his parents?
No, I don't like any of his parents.
Fair enough.
Definitely, you don't want to. You definitely don't want to cuck Allison.
No, that would get. You can cuck Viserys all you like, but you don't want to cuck Allison.
Yeah, neither of them are really appealing. The one of them doesn't have his arm, so that's already a turnoff. And the other is a cow.
Not to put too fine a point on it.
Oh yeah, now we're back to this.
We're back to Alableed.
Travesty.
Also, by the way, Dunn hasn't answered your question. Or are you going to say he's not a gentleman?
No comment. We don't want to know.
Oh.
So, Codex, you what were some of your thoughts on this episode? We've gone through quite a bit of it, but
I think it's a solid 6. I do like some of the dialogue and between Rhaenyra and Allison and her family essentially, and I did like the training scene with Rhaenyra's kid. No, sorry, not Allison's kids with Connor.
With Allison's and Rhaenyra's kids.
Christian Cole. Yeah.
Cole, sorry, my apologies.
Krusty the Clown, I call him.
And I did like Damien's reaction to having a C-section with his wife, although obviously he doesn't want to go through it, of course.
He's like, I'm not going to do it, but it does seem as though it's karma.
Yeah, because you could see in his face, he wants to have this child, but he doesn't want to run the risk of emulating his brother, essentially. Though I will admit after the scene is a bit weird.
Yeah, the whole bit of, like, she does say that she wants to die a Dragon Rider's death, but that's one weird thing about it is that the whole episode is very much building up to the moment where Lena dies, but the problem with that is she's not been very well established, and I'm just asking, why should I care? Other than just a pregnant woman dies, which admittedly is a tragedy, but she herself has not been characterized.
She and Harwin
this scene is just... Sorry, go on.
There's a lie. Go for it, Valerian.
Oh, thank you. I was just going to say... What was I going to say? I'm sorry, what was I saying?
About Lena and Harwin.
Oh, yeah. They're both characters that basically become characters in this episode. And then they die.
Yeah.
So carry on.
Which is a shame.
Yeah,
which is a shame too, because this is a really good scene. It's well performed, and I do generally feel think he's really giving her all. It's just the pacing really lets it down. And you barely get to
they're
know
kind
her.
of rushing through it. Yeah. So a couple of scenes we haven't got into as much are the council scene and the training scene.
Yeah. Let's do the training scene first, since basically it's a whole about the story of Kristen Cole clearly shows favoritism to Allison's kids, which makes sense due to the fact that he's her lackey and thinks that she's the rightful person to be there. At least her sons are the rightful heirs and deserve more of his time. But Harwin is like, no, like they should be trained both. And then he decides to put eldest son against eldest son with Aegon versus Jacaerys, even though Aegon's significantly bigger than his cousin. Well, his nephew, really.
Yeah, technically nephew.
Yeah. So much weird. Yeah, so much weird.
Yeah, and also Christopher Cole. It's interesting. Everyone's forgotten what Christopher Cole did at the wedding. Everyone forgot immediately what Christopher Cole did at the wedding 10 years ago. And yet Christopher Cole remembers 10 years ago how Rhaenyra dissed him and is plainly still affected by that and is a bit of a bleep about it.
Yeah.
It really does feel like what he did just didn't happen.
Okay,
you know what? I have the solution for this show. Someone use fucking balefire on Joffrey's corpse.
All right, hold it right there. Sorry.
Yeah.
No, I thought Shai was going to continue, but go back just a little bit. So, shouldn't Aegon? He's the older one, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay, so look at how I have to give this point to, God, who was talking about this? Like, on one of I think it was at Nerdporial's live stream, I can't remember now, but they were really talking about how he is swinging the sword, the whole overhead thing, like as if he's had very little training. And they had a really good point of, shouldn't he at this point, given how old he is, really know how to handle a sword better than to do that, like the whole overhead thing and just, or maybe it's just because he's being a dick here. I don't know. To me, he should be better trained than that at this point.
I don't need to do my training. I got something better to do. Pardon me, I'll be in the balcony if anybody wants me.
I'll be in my bunk. I'll be in my bunk. Firefly reference for those of you who have not seen that one. Yep.
I get that reference. Reference.
Well, I don't, but hey. It's
you need to see Firefly.
Yeah, see, like it's like he's hacking with an axe or something.
Yeah, he's not holding it right.
I guess you might be able to say that he's basically doing that because he says he's thinking, you know what? Like, I don't really need to train that. I don't really need to give like skilled stuff. I can just kick this kid's ass with nothing. But yeah.
Also, do remember he's trying to beat him at this point. Like, yeah, when you're normally using a sword fight, you don't want to do that. He's having a big stick in his hand, and he really wants to hurt the kid. He might be just wanting to put as much force as he can into it, which makes sense.
No.
This isn't a practical sword fight. This is him trying to beat up a kid with a big stick.
He feels like being a bully at the moment. He's in a bad mood. He got interrupted earlier, so he's taking it out on the kid.
he's doing child violence, and I support this.
There's also the fact that he was just messed. Kristen Cole kind of messed with him a little bit and just made him look like an idiot.
Yeah.
Idiot by just demonstrating just how much he sucked.
Yeah, maybe he's trying to show. Maybe he's also trying to impress Kristen Cole.
I wouldn't be surprised about that, actually, considering Kristen Cole is probably more of like, considering his dad, like, bless his heart, Viserys is a nice, sweet guy, but he does not come off as a good role model, shall we say.
Yeah, and Kristen Cole is really cool, too.
Yeah, Kristen Cole would come off as the cool uncle type.
Yeah.
Mostly because Kristen Cole is just Kristen Cole is kind of an asshole, but he's like the cool guy. He's the guy who you bring he's the guy that all the girls want. It seems like he's this perfect ideal guy. Yeah.
He's basically a high school jock.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, pretty much.
No wonder I don't like him.
Yeah, that explains a lot. You want Schadenfreude to come to pass, apparently, or at least you want Schadenfreude. You want to experience Schadenfreude with Kristen Cole.
Kristen Cole, die.
I think maybe like that could be what George R. R. Martin, since most of the jocks in George R. R. Martin's books are assholes. The only one exception is probably Aegon the Conqueror. Like Maegor's definitely the archetypal jock, and George R. R. Martin was like, no, these people are evil.
Die humiliatingly.
George, my guy, if you wanted the jocks to stop bullying you, just get a gun.
Yeah, I think getting revenge by putting them in your story and having them all die horribly is the way to go.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Well, you make millions of dollars off of it too, by the way.
So we wanted to talk about the council scene. That was a major one that we wanted to talk about. And basically that the crown's coffers couldn't support basically fortifying the stepstones. It was probably been actually a good idea to just say, screw the expense, we need to protect our shipping lanes.
Mm-hmm.
We need to dump money now to save money later, because the alternative is that the enemies of the state will basically we'll just pillage and take our stuff.
Yeah, it's kind of like, what are you going to use the money for anyways, then? Like, you've already spent a shit ton on 2 festivals
And
of enormous quality.
Sorry, pardon the interruption. Not to mention that part of the issue, which was brought up earlier in the first episode by Corliss, is that it interferes with trade. So you'll get more money if the stepstones are secured, and it's a strategic area. You'll get more money that way because you'll get more trade. You can tax the traders, the merchants, and hey. So.
Well, and my comment about the council meeting here is I think Rhaenyra makes a pretty decent proposition about the marriage between the families, and I think Allison's pride and pettiness really, I think she should have taken that offer.
I also think this cements Allison's position as this is no longer something she's doing out of like defense or a fear that when she takes the throne she's going to kill her kids, because this would solve that. Rhaenyra basically gives her the solution to one of her biggest fears, and she still refuses it. So at this point, Alicent is really just doing this out of some weird personal vendetta. This is no longer a defense or fear thing.
That's why I find it odd when people say that Rhaenyra would necessarily make a bad ruler. I mean, I could see saying that based on episodes 3 and 4, but based on to 5 to some extent, but based on episode 6, the only thing she does that would make her a bad ruler is having the bastards. And apart from that, she seems statesmanlike certainly compared to Alicent. Let alone Aegon II, God help us.
Yeah, Aegon II is not a good. He's clearly not.
I mean,
Has problems.
What's he going to do? Legalize public exposure?
Ha.
It'll be like a piece of lights all day around.
And for those of you, the Feast of Lights is basically a Mardi Gras on steroids.
It's what everyone thinks Mardi Gras is.
That's why I say Mardi Gras on steroids.
Yep. I want to be on the Feast of Lights. I want to teleport into that setting just so I can be there one night.
Why, so you can make out with every curry and then lady fishwife and how fishwife and how housely lady.
Vote
You're
for
stuttering
Aegon
so
II.
much, goddamn, being flustered, mate.
What?
Vote for Aegon II, and we'll all have orgies.
Okay, so why is this Alicent's decision?
Because Alicent is a bleep.
Also, Viserys is a pushover.
Well, yeah, that was kind of my point. Again, dude, find your fucking balls, would you?
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, you're the king, remember? King. The guy who can do stuff.
So, everyone who wants a manual on how to interact with Trip, first page, just don't be Viserys. Just don't act like Viserys.
Well, I do like his, sweeter, caring qualities, but especially as a king, oh my god, dude.
It's the hair, isn't it?
The mortal Valyria is cool.
It is. It's neat that he has this little side hustle hobby that he does, but other than that, he really, he is such a wuss. He is not a good king.
No, pity. I mean, he's better than Robert, but well, it has the same effect as Robert, though, even though he makes more of an effort than Robert, I guess is the way to put it.
Yeah, Robert was basically just indifferent. The only thing he really cared about, or even took the responsibility over, was when he heard that Daenerys was pregnant. At that point, he roused himself out of a drunken stupor in order to say, we should get rid of the Targaryens.
Yep. There's also stop this madness in the name of your king.
Now I want to watch the first season of Game of Thrones again.
Yes.
Yeah.
Maybe we will do that.
Yeah.
I'm being endlessly fussed over Lionel.
It was such a good season.
It's a wonder I can visit the privy alone. No comment.
Yeah, I'm
Well,
sure your
okay.
tin foil toilet likes seeing you.
That would be kind of disgusting, but in an amusing. That would be amusing in a disgusting way.
So,
No comment.
do you think Viserys is really as what do I want to say? Not really, I guess disabled, or do you think he's as poorly in health as they make him out to be, or do you think like Alicent and the Hand are kind of purposely thrusting that upon him? Like that maybe if they weren't continuously, oh, I think you need to rest, or, like, let me do this for you, or let me make this decision for you, or whatever, that maybe he'd be forced to not be that way.
I honestly think that he is. I think that he is actually in very bad shape. He looks like he drank out of the wrong grail.
He did manage to live. He's been ill for the last 10 years. That would definitely take a toll on you.
He's also like at this point he's lost an arm. It looked like his arm was riddled with AIDS on steroids last episode. He looked like he's been in bad shape, clearly deteriorating over the course of the show. From the first episode where he seems fairly hale and hearty to the second episode where he loses 2 fingers, then he just keeps going down and down and down.
Mm-hmm. It's been a nice long illness too. So Crimson Scorpio says Robert shut down an entire rebellion by hobo pirates, which I'm guessing means the Ironborn, which is kind of rude to hobos to compare them to the Ironborn, but hey.
Well, at least this Victorian's kind of cool. Hobos have no cool factor. Victorian Greyjoy.
Yeah, I know you're talking about that guy. He's such a jock.
Oh, he is, but he's a cool jock.
I will have many sons. That used enough mental energy for the rest of the day, so I'm gonna stop thinking for the rest of the day after that thought.
I never said that he was a smart jock, just a cool one.
Fair enough. So.
He's clearly really, really dumb, and he's definitely a Valhalla type. But I just find that cool.
My father cannot give unbiased advice. Oh, okay. He would give it. Okay, now we're back to Alicent wanting someone to be biased in favor of her for a change.
I'm just skipping around. I think we've talked about most of the episode. I'm just kind of skipping around to avoid copyright hits.
Fair enough. Oh no, I actually like the assassination on the Hand of the King's son. Actually, I think that's actually a pretty good scene.
Yeah, that one's a good scene. Where let me actually find that really.
The hand as well.
Yeah, where Lionel Strong and his son Harwin are dead.
Wonder what would have happened if Lionel had still been alive. Could the Civil War have been avoided? Probably not, but
no, I don't think it could have been avoided.
Yeah, probably not, but I think that having Otto come back, spoiler, but we already saw the preview probably hastened it.
Yeah, mainly because he can basically go and to Alicent and say you need to make sure that Aegon is crowned king.
Yeah. I do also like Alicent's reaction to that as well, like saying she's willing to go to dark places but not to extreme meta, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, she won't actually order them killed. She might just hint at it, but I don't know if she would even deliberately even hint at killing children. Would she?
Maybe.
No, I don't think that she would. There's also kind of a.
Sorry, go on.
She's definitely. Oh, go for it. No, you go.
No. You go first. I was interrupting.
I was thinking along the lines of she has a measure of self-righteousness that makes her not want to do what she perceives as immoral. Likely that would include the murder of children.
Yeah, she probably wouldn't actually outright, but she might say something and someone else might take it that way. But Codex was going to say something.
No, to be fair, that's kind of the line I was going to say, but what I was going to say exactly. A lot of people will interpret, okay, you want these people away, let's just kill the children, essentially, or one of theirs, essentially.
Yeah. Yeah, she would. Yeah, I can see Lara Strong deliberately misinterpreting something to mean that.
Yeah, because it seems like Lara Strong is he's a sociopath who's trying to be extremely pleasant, but he comes off as creepy, but nobody sees him as very harmful, who everybody seems sees him as harmless due to his infirmity. They don't see, oh, he's just a harmless loser. He doesn't have any thing that he can do. He can't do anything.
Yeah, he's kind of the failure of the Strong family.
He's a little thing a bit late, essentially.
Yeah. Yeah, although he did manage to cut out this chap's tongue somehow.
No, he just told some other guys to claw them out.
Fair enough.
Well, to be fair, they do heat the blade a bit, so. Maybe?
Well, he's not the one he's watching as it happens.
Yeah.
That must be a riot.
Oh, he's a sociopath. What can you do? A lot of the sociopaths enjoy that sort of thing.
Sociopath or psychopath or something path, certainly.
Yeah. I think it's more psychopath because he seems like he doesn't really have emotions, which is a common psychopathic trait. Sociopaths are more prone to fits of anger.
Ow!
What? Oh, just watching the scene?
Yes.
I'm having my lunch, by the way.
Are you having
Don't
beef
eat your tongue.
by any chance?
No comment. Except that I just lost my appetite.
Why? I'm sure tongues taste delicious. You only taste it every day. That can be taken in a much different way than I was intending.
Really, no comment. No comment. And Trip Lady and Dunchap don't even.
Really?
Really? Wait, you
Don't
think
even
you need to
what?
worry about those two? Huh? You think I'm not going to be the one to start saying shit?
Neither am I.
Not as gross. You're not usually as gross as they are.
Really?
Do not underestimate
Okay,
me,
wait. Done, I get, because he will occasionally just keep doing one particularly strange thing. Him, I understand. Trip, what is Trip? Actually, no, you know what? I think I know what you're thinking of. Never mind.
I have done nothing. I have been very well behaved this stream. Thank you very much.
Yes. I think he's referring to the tinfoil. Among other things.
No comment.
Yeah, he loved that attention, so just don't even.
I don't know. That might be a little too much attention. We can have too much attention sometimes.
Perion, please take a picture of your skin tone. I believe it is a few shades redder than the sun.
I don't think I'm
Not our sun.
I don't think I
red
will. Sorry.
I'm mainly. I was thinking that his skin tone was only slightly whiter than paper. We love you, though.
Well, yeah, that's his normal skin tone, and now he's blushing so much he may as well be part of the Sahara Desert.
Cool.
My God.
So, some guy is lying around here. I can't remember who this chap is. Oh, this must be either Lionel or must be Lionel.
Yeah, that's Lionel. Yeah, that's Lionel Strong. He's bald. He's losing his hair, so.
Poor
All
chap.
right, so
yeah,
now that we've talked about the episode, do we have a trailer for the one coming out tonight?
Yes, there is.
I think
Oh,
this
it's tomorrow
episode
night.
also puts Rhaenyra as everyone's favorite here, I believe. Who's
Yeah.
everyone's favorite character?
I'd say Daemon so far. I like Rhaenyra, but I like Daemon better, and I do like Rhaenyra in the show better than I like her in the book because
It's because of
Rhaenyra in the
Smith,
book
isn't it? It's because Matt Smith being Damien,
Yeah.
essentially.
Yeah, well, I'm not much of a Doctor Who fan. Like, I like some of his episodes. The main, and I know, like, tangentially some Whovian facts.
If Witness Butler were here, she would point out that Matt Smith was also in The Crown and played Prince Philip. I haven't seen the show, but she would point that out.
Quite good.
Yeah, I agree, Codex. I really like that series, and I think Matt Smith is a pretty
William?
I like him as an
So,
actor. I think he's pretty versatile.
So in grading this episode, we would call it a B plus.
Yeah, I'd give it a 7.5 or an 8.
Yeah.
So I mean, I think it's the best one. It seems like it's the best one so far, even though it's a pity not to have the younger. But I mean, we like the new actresses, but it's a pity the old ones had to go.
I think my main from the watch, I think my main complaint was just the pacing of the series overall, which I do understand, but still, it's with not having the lore knowledge. Again, I have to go other places for it. I'm either asking Kai for information or, going and looking at some of the videos that are out there because I don't know that information. So it does kind of leave me wanting a bit about background.
Yeah, and there are some logical leaps that have not yet been resolved.
Mm-hmm. So let's see what's happening on the next one.
3. Mortal life. If not the pursuit of legacy.
Oh, yes.
Rhaenyra. No queen has ever sat the Iron Throne.
The road ahead is uncertain, but the end is clear.
Die.
Someone stole Rhaegar. Fire is such strange power. Everything that House Targaryen possesses is owed to it.
We play an ugly game. You have the determination to win it.
There is a debt to be paid.
Die.
They see you as you are. You never imagined yourself on the Iron Throne.
I think that was actually fan-made. Let me actually try to find
You accidentally put a fan-made trailer.
Yeah.
What is this?
And we couldn't even notice.
Okay, so it is actually. So it is the thing.
If you are to be a strong queen, your subjects must fear you.
Fire is such strange power. Everything that House Targaryen possesses is owed to it. The highest of treasons. This is the highest of treasons.
Music builds.
I promise you in time, you and I together will prevail.
Die.
Now they see you as you
So I guess Viserys is probably dead or gonna die.
He's gonna die.
Because he's not in that trailer at all, and Alicent looks like she's in charge.
Alicent was already in charge in episode 6, so she's probably even more in charge.
Because she was sitting on the Iron Throne. I'm like, I don't know if you would let that happen if Viserys was still alive.
Unless he's really, really ill by now and just can't get out of bed.
Anyway.
But basically, he's not long for this world.
Nope.
Well, and who was getting stabbed there?
Rhaenyra was having Alicent put a knife in her face.
I thought it might have been the other way around.
No, it's Alicent trying to stab Rhaenyra.
Isn't supposedly she trying to stab one of Rhaenyra's sons and Rhaenyra gets in the way?
Mm-hmm.
I imagine so.
Because of certain spoilerish things.
I will say, it's hard to remember that in the first episode, these two were just cool friends sitting under a tree reading a book.
Yeah. But as recently as episode 4 or 5, I think as recently as episode 5, Alicent was still trying to defend Rhaenyra. I mean, maybe not in 5, but definitely in 4.
Yeah. There's definitely an attitude of betrayal that way.
Women occasionally just be like that.
Mm-hmm.
I know there's a similar situation.
This is personal.
Whatever.
Oh, I'm not so tempted.
No.
You don't even know I'm tempted.
I will not talk to you for a week.
You don't even know what I'm tempted.
Oh, yes, I do.
What is this to do with Rhaenyra and Alicent, though?
Well, she just did the
No
threats,
comment. No. Moving on.
Are you two going to enact the Targaryen Civil War? Which of you is Rhaenyra? You could use Alicent.
Well, I was thinking I could be Daemon. She could be Rhaenyra, I could be Daemon.
That would be romantic.
Yeah, just move along.
Just to make it through.
Kai, I thought you were supposed to be in charge here. Move it along.
Forget about it. Him?
Kai is in charge selectively.
He's only in charge when he can do something horrible to us.
Daddy, would you like some sausage?
No. No, cut that out.
Don't restart that. Don't restart that. He fucking...
Don't start that. Do I have to scream cusses at you again and flame you and the thing? Just don't ever do that again.
I'm pretty sure Trip wasn't... Yeah, I'm pretty sure Trip wasn't here for this, but Trip literally got so annoyed by that he cussed at Dunn in the... Or, well, he didn't cuss. He fucking shit on Dunn in the street. He did cuss at you?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Valerian cussed at Dunn in Stream Team to be like, never again. No sausage.
Not even in Stream Team. It was live.
Don't ever quote that stupid, shitty song again, please.
I wasn't there for live. I was there when it was in Stream Team. I was trying to cool you both off. I'm like, okay, calm down, kiddies.
Yeah.
I would say that he was the one who was heated. I was just like, okay,
you were very calm, yes.
You're just being a bleep. I mean, you're just being a bleep. You're always calm, but you're just being a bleep.
You're always a bleeping bleep. Don't you know?
Indeed. I may be a bleep, but I am a calm bleep. He doesn't really get irritated at many things.
But don't. Well, I get irritated. You get irritated at things. You just don't get irritated at that thing.
Yeah, I don't get irritated at people I know generally.
You get irritated by retards on the internet.
Whereas I do get irritated by people I know.
Yes, you do.
As do I.
And that irritates them back, too.
As is fair in life.
Yeah.
You can try with me, you just won't succeed.
No, but I mean, I suppose I could
we would
throw
succeed.
I suppose I could throw a screaming fit at you again.
think
That would be
that-
annoying to have to go through all that over again. So will you please never ever quote for that shitty from a stupid song again?
Done. Are
I'll
you really
just
going to
put
tell
that.
me that Replica had not frustrated you at least once?
Oh, I know who did annoy him.
Who?
It was on one of the fighter showcases.
Oh, right. Noble.
Noble?
Yeah.
I wasn't going to name any names, but yes.
Noble doesn't watch these, and also, if he doesn't realize by now, he has been very much oblivious to everything.
Well, that's possible.
Maybe he'll learn, then.
You expect him to learn?
I mean, yeah, that was the only time I heard of what's his name being really annoyed.
Tarek?
It's
No, Tarek's
Me.
always annoyed. You.
Well,
Yeah,
yeah,
I mean,
but that was a special annoyance because he came from the gym to come on and give a talking to the commando.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
He
he's
didn't
like
fail the mission.
he's chronically annoyed like nothing sometimes. Whereas Dunchap takes a lot to get Dunchap annoyed.
Yeah. Ignorant people, and especially people who are deliberately ignorant, frustrate me.
Yep.
I do know something that
Same here.
frustrated you. It's called Wizard 101.
That's because that's a stupid technical issue that it refuses to do what it should.
Mhm.
The thing is that once you start singing that song, you don't stop. You because when I was yelling at you, you'd done it like 4 times in a row. You'd doing that song 4 times practically in a row. So that had to be stopped.
Well, here's the thing with Dunn. He likes to beat a horse to death, even when there's no longer a horse to beat. It's just dust.
Yeah, that reminds me of something. Someone had a signature a while back where people are still beating the bloodied red place on the sidewalk where the horse used to be, and that's
done.
That's him in a nutshell. So it's the same idea, but yes, it wasn't my idea either, so I can't take credit.
Fair enough.
But yes, that's kind of you.
Like your nickname once was, Done to Death.
No. Yeah, that's true.
I like how you were like, no, yeah, never mind.
Valerian's was.
Yeah,
Done
that's
to
what I
death.
said.
Yeah, I
That's
thought for a
what he
second that you
meant.
said mine. Yeah. Either way, yeah, it's fine. All right. Is there anything else that we can that we'd like to discuss before we finish things off?
Dunn has been sending me not safe for work art throughout this entire stream. I dare anyone who watches this to try and guess when he was doing so, since it wasn't that often, but you might be able to tell by him being distracted.
Well, thing is, I was distracted the whole time by trying to go all over the place with my trying to avoid the copyright stuff.
So, what do we think of the episode 7 trailer? Apart from the fact that obviously some of us have a pretty good idea of what's going to be happening.
Yeah, I know exactly what's going to happen next episode. How much they're going to cover is going to be interesting, though.
I am pretty hyped for it, though.
We shall see.
I just want to see Allison or Rhaenyra, one of them, kill the other one.
That would be a riot.
I very much want Allison to be the one who gets killed. Save my Rhaenyra.
Except that Allison's kind of hot, though. So
what? Okay, Rhaenyra's also kind of hot.
Yeah, but we need
I like
2
redheads
hot
more.
females around. We need both hot females around.
Okay.
Oh my god.
What?
So basically, Valerian is going with the "you get to look at women" argument.
Pretty much.
That's great.
And my faith in the male side of the human race is restored as far as my beliefs go. Yeah.
Okay.
My pleasure.
It would be your pleasure, Valerian.
No comment. But anyway, yeah, definitely. But in terms of leaving the all to one side, yeah, having Rhaenyra kill Alicent would be very satisfying indeed.
Yeah.
You gave me this new actress. Don't you dare take her away from me too soon.
But I like redheads.
Is she a redhead or is she chestnut?
She's not a redhead. I'd be very surprised if she was a redhead.
Then.
Is that what you call?
Isn't a chestnut a redhead?
Is chestnut was brown.
Yeah.
Is she like Auburn, maybe?
Brown. Yeah, definitely Auburn.
I'm not very good at colors, apart from the usual ones.
His eyesight hasn't been very good since the Big Bang, as we all know.
Well, also I'm a chap, so things like mauve and taupe and champagne and God knows what. I'm like, whatever.
Don't you mean conditioner?
Oh, I don't do conditioner either. Well, I'm too bold to do conditioner, so hey.
I'm not good with shades because I don't know what the fuck to call them, because there's like 100 different names for every single color.
It just gets confusing.
It does, but it's also just, they're useful. It's just a bitch and a half to know and remember them all.
Yeah, I think, but Auburn is the word that hops to mind when I think of darkish, reddish, brownish hair.
Well, if there's no further discussion to be had, let's conclude it with our outro.